Rey is us. We are Rey. We've seen hundreds of theories about Rey's identity, her backstory, and her parents, but I don't think we've ever seen a theory detailing what Rey represents. See, Rey's role in the new trilogy is usually associated with Luke's role in the original trilogy, as a hero archetype, but we almost always overlook the fact that Rey doesn't really fit this archetype particularly well, especially in the context of The Force Awakens as a standalone story. See, Rey doesn't rise up and save the day in The Force Awakens the way that Luke does in the original film. Actually, most of the plot kind of takes place outside of Rey's control, with a few notable exceptions. She certainly plays a role, but it's not quite as essential as the typical hero story ought to be, and that's because Rey isn't just a hero archetype, she's also an audience surrogate archetype. She represents the audience itself, and not just any audience. She represents Star Wars fans specifically, and even more specifically, she represents the Star Wars fans who loved the old expanded universe and felt disenfranchised when Disney declared the entirety of the expanded universe non-canon. That's a pretty big claim there, but let's take a look at the evidence. Rey is forcibly abandoned, having no say in the matter, obviously not fully understanding why or how this could happen to her. Why would her family leave her? You could easily make parallels to the way that many Star Wars fans felt when their old canon was yanked away from them. Come back, please don't leave us, expanded universe. We don't want Disney. We don't want new stories. We want Kyle Katarn. We want Jason and Jaina. We want Thrawn. So we wait, furiously scavenging through the relics of a now forgotten era, looking to be reminded of those glimmers of greatness that add meaning to our predicament. The EU might be gone, but we still have great stories that we can dust off and find some satisfaction in. But our new Disney taskmaster scoffs at our efforts. This stuff is legends. It's practically worthless now.
1/4 portion.
We retire to our rooms, which are cluttered with the toys we grew up with as a child. A simpler time. We silently reenact those distant times as we count the days until our family comes back for us. Our beloved expanded universe. The good old Star Wars will come back to us.
They'll be back. One day.
But we wait, and the days tick on, and all the while, a new story is being told, but we're not a part of it anymore. But one day, the new Star Wars practically comes knocking on our door, and we're swept up into this grand adventure. Some of our old friends are here too, but what if embracing this new Star Wars somehow invalidates the time and energy I put into the old Star Wars? We have to go back to Jakku and wait for our family.
I gotta get back to Jakku.
Back to Jakku! Why does everyone want to go back to Jakku?
Soon, this new Star Wars requires too much of us and we want to run away, but as Maz Kanata urges,
whomever you're waiting for on Jakku, they're never coming back. The belonging you seek is not behind you, it is ahead.
Disney is telling us that we'll never ultimately find meaning in the past stories because Star Wars will move on ahead without us. But it's not a warning or a threat so much as a plea for us to trust them. This new Star Wars respects the old. There is a material and personal through line that we can grasp onto, and new characters that we can learn to love. And accepting the new doesn't necessitate forgetting the past. Did the writers intend to tell this kind of meta story? Who knows? But it does definitely seem symbolically intentional to start our story on a planet littered with discarded relics. What do you think? Am I really reaching with this theory, or does it seem to hold water for you? Did you have a similar thought or more to add? Let me know. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.